Hi guys, my name is LaShawn and welcome back to another video. Take it away, feeling too good to me. So as you guys can see from the title above, today we are going to be discussing the differences in degrees when it comes to obtaining a nursing degree. So you have your associate's degree, your ADN, your bachelor's degree, your BSN, and your accelerated bachelor's degree, which is your ABSN. So if you guys are interested in hearing about the differences, learning about the pros and the cons, and also figuring out which route I chose to take, just continue watching. So if you are a prospective nursing student, someone that is considering applying to nursing school, then you've probably done a lot of research. And when you were doing your research, you probably saw that there were about 3 different programs that you could potentially apply to. First being your associate's degree in nursing, also known as the ADN. Your associate's degree in nursing will come from a community college. It's usually about 2 years long, and it is a program that you have to apply to after receiving a number of, prerequisites and general education courses in college. The associate's degree is going to focus more on nursing concepts and more technical practices than the bachelor's degree will. The BSN, on the other hand, is going to have a more comprehensive nursing approach. It's going to dig deeper into those nursing concepts. You're going to have more ethical training, more pharmacology, hence why when you go to get your bachelor's, you're going to be writing more papers and, doing more research. Now, when it comes to your BSN and your ABSN, they're relatively the same. So your ADN, that's a program that's going to take about 2 years and it's going to be offered at your community college. Your BSN is a program that's 4 years and it's offered at any, university, or most universities. It's 4 years long. You're going to leave with your bachelor's degree. Your ABSN is for the candidate that has a bachelor's degree in something else, but they decided to do a career change and they decided to go back for their nursing bachelor's degree. So the advantage that you have with the ABSN program is that instead of taking all of those, general requirements that you would need before, usually you only need anatomy, and then you jump right into your bachelor's in nursing. So the BSN and the ABSN are basically the same. The ABSN is just accelerated, ABSN. So when I'm discussing the bachelor's program, just think of it as the same as the ABSN program. So you can only qualify for the ABSN program if you hold a previous bachelor's degree. So if you are not someone that holds a previous bachelor's degree, then you would only qualify for the BSN program or the ADN program. I'm going to first begin with discussing the pros of the ADN program. So a pro of the ADN program is the cost. The ADN program, is through community college, so it's going to be way more economical for the everyday person. Along with cost, another pro is going to be that it's going to be faster. Like I mentioned previously, the ADN program to get your associate's degree in nursing is 2 years, while your BSN program is going to be 4 years long. So another pro, and the reason why people choose this route, is they get it done faster and it's cheaper. Those are the 2 biggest pros of this program. Another pro of the ADN program is that you will more than likely be able to work while being in the program. Now, this is a pro because a lot of people, have children or they have a household to run or whatever the case may be, so they want to work. Will you be able to work full-time? Probably not, but at least a part-time job, more than likely. The course load is going to be lighter than going to get your BSN. To piggyback off of what I said earlier, this is a very popular reason for a lot of people because you're working while you're in school, and 2, your program is already cheaper, so you're leaving school with little to no debt and you're getting right into being a registered nurse. So this is a very, very, very popular, option for a lot of people. Another pro to getting your ADN as opposed to getting your BSN is that a lot of employers pay for this. So let's say you're working as a CNA or a tech at a hospital and you want to, go ahead and become a registered nurse if that is your desire, then what I've been seeing is a lot of employers are paying for you to do this because, you know, they need more nurses. And so then you get your ADN, you become a registered nurse, and then you're just one more step closer to getting your bachelor's in nursing. So now let's get into the cons of getting your ADN instead of getting your BSN. The number one con that a lot of people, you know, look at is the salary. You're not going to be getting paid as much as someone with a BSN. Now in my state, what I have seen, because I've already seen, you know, numbers, it looks like there's about no more than a $5 difference, you know, per hour in salary between an ADN and a BSN. Now these numbers are just from one hospital. I was able to, you know, see what the new grad nurses are getting paid, which you would be getting paid as a new grad ADN nurse, and which you would be getting paid as a new grad BSN nurse. I have not seen, you know, all the numbers for the state of Virginia, but from the one hospital I did see, and it was about, you know, no more than $5 difference in salary. And then another con is that a lot of hospitals are requiring that if you come in with your ADN, you need to get your BSN within 5 years. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews when it comes to this statement because we're fresh out of a pandemic. I don't think a hospital is going to be firing anyone that is a registered nurse, whether you have your ADN or your BSN. Because if you didn't know, there is a nursing shortage. There's a shortage of employees everywhere, but there's a nursing shortage. So I don't think that rule is as strict as it may have been in the past, but that is something that you should keep in the back of your mind, that more than likely if you come in with your ADN, you're gonna have to at some point go back for your BSN. So a lot of people just wanna knock it out the park right away. So moving on to your BSN, I want to go over the pros and the cons of getting your BSN as opposed to getting your ADN. So number one pro for getting your BSN is you're more than likely going to have job preference. If there's two candidates and one has their BSN and one has their ADN and there's only one, you know, job opening, more than likely the candidate with their BSN is going to go ahead and get that job. You know, keep in mind, like, with the state of, you know, what our country is in right now, there, you know, there's nursing shortages everywhere. There's a job for probably every nurse, but, you know, that is something, you know, if in the future that you want to think about, that you're going to have better job preference if you have your BSN. Another pro to getting your BSN is you're going to have that expanded knowledge. You have to take more classes on the BSN track. You know, you delve deeper into things with your BSN track. More than likely you are going to be more knowledgeable than someone that has their ADN. Another pro is an obvious, the salary will be higher than one of an ADN applicant. Now let's go ahead and get into the cons. The cons of getting your BSN is the cost. It's going to be rather expensive, especially if you have no financial help. Going to a university, I don't even know. My undergraduate degree was probably, you know, without any financial aid, any grants, any scholarships, was, I don't even know, probably like $20,000 a year, $25,000 a year times 4 years. No, that cannot be right. I don't know, how much is college these days? I don't even know. It's expensive though, compared to, you know, your state tuition at a community college, which is probably no more than $4,000 a year. So that's just something that you want to keep in mind. Another con that I have heard a lot of people say is that it's more competitive to get into a BSN program than it would be to get into an ADN program. I don't know how accurate this is. I think nursing school in general is very competitive to get into, and I'm going to get into that a little bit later in the video, but that is a con that I have heard of. So yeah. Now, I do want to reiterate that an ABSN program and a BSN program are very similar. You're going to be learning the same things. It's just that the ABSN program is faster than a BSN, but they are the same program. So just think of that 4-year program squeezed into a shorter time period. The cost is going to be the same. I think ABSN programs are maybe even a little bit more expensive, but you're going to have the same degree at BSN. So I didn't really delve too much into that, but they kind of fall under the same umbrella. Now I'm going to get into which program I decided to choose and kind of my background, because I got this question. And if you read my comments and you already know which program that I'm in, but I decided to choose the ADN route, and here's why. So for a little background information, I already have a degree. I have a degree in interdisciplinary science from a university. So when I graduated from that in 2019, I immediately began a job as a medical assistant at a dermatology practice. So when I started as a medical assistant, that's kind of where it sparked my interest that I wanted to become a nurse. So I worked there for 2 years and I was kind of just figuring out my plan, like how I wanted to approach it. Did I want to go back to school for 4 years? And then that's when I discovered the ABSN program. So that was an option, or I could do the ADN program. So for me, someone that has a previous bachelor degree, the two options that I pretty much had was the ABSN program, which is the accelerated bachelor's degree, or going to community college to get my associate's degree in nursing. Now, I already had, student loan debt from my first degree, so I just personally did not feel like it was smart for me to, take on more debt with getting another degree. Also, I wanted to move out. I wanted to live on my own, so I knew I wanted to be in a program where I could work. Because at the time I was living with my parents, I knew I wanted to move out. I wanted to move back to the city. So being in a program where I could work was very important to me. Being in a cost-efficient program was very important to me. So I did a whole bunch of research. I was very torn. I was thinking, I want to have the best degree. I don't want to get my associate's degree in nursing. And once I did more research, I really became educated that at the end, you're going to be a registered nurse. Your name tag is going to say registered nurse. And you are a registered nurse. You work hard for it. And to go back to a previous comment that I made about ADN programs are easy to get into, they're actually not. A lot of people did not get into my program. My program is very hard. I feel like every nursing school is hard, whether it's ADN, ABSN, or BSN. Like, they're all hard. Nothing about becoming a nurse is easy. And if you want to become a nurse and you don't have the money to, fork out to a BSN program, then do it. Especially if it's your second degree. There's no sense in accumulating that much debt. It's really not. Yeah, it's just not. So you guys, I did a lot of research, and there's a YouTuber on here. Her name is Ryan, I believe, and she really inspired me. She's actually a certified registered nurse anesthetist, and she actually went to the community college that I'm going to get my nursing degree. Then she went to the university that I want to go to get her bachelor's degree. And then she went to CRNA school, and she's a successful CRNA. I say that all to say is that just because you decide to get your ADN does not mean you're never going to get your BSN, does not mean you're never going to get your master's, your doctorate, or whatever you want to do. To me, it's a more financially sound decision than it is to accumulate all this debt. It just made so much more sense for me to get my associate's degree in nursing, and then I graduate next year, I can start working as a registered nurse. And while I'm working as a registered nurse, I'll also be working on my bachelor's degree in nursing, rather than forking out all this money to get my bachelor's. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I'm really honestly bad at explaining things, and I hope it makes sense. But if it's your second degree, please just go get your ADN. I mean, if you obviously can afford it and if you have a full ride to get your ABSN, go for it. And if it's your first degree and you're in college, go for do the BSN program. But for me, it was just more financially sound to do the ADN program. I don't know. What do you guys think? And let me know in the comments below. Another thing that I just want to add, and I know a lot of hospitals do this. So what a lot of hospitals will end up doing, the closest hospital to your community college where you're getting your ADN program, they'll have like a little agreement with your school that as long as the student maintains, a certain GPA, once that student graduates, they'll have automatic admission to the RN to BSN program, in which more than likely you will be completing classes online for about 2 years while working. Like, that is insane. Who wouldn't do that? It just made so much more sense to me, and I hope I'm making sense. The more that I'm talking, I'm kind of thinking that I'm really not making sense. But all in all, that is why I decided to get my associate's degree in nursing, honestly, just to save the coin. And I think I've made a really good decision. And I'm really excited to continue taking you guys on this journey with me. If you're someone that is thinking about applying to nursing school, let me know in the comments below, what program are you thinking about going with and why? But that's kind of why I decided to go the ADN route, and I don't regret it. If you guys have any questions about my process, please let me know in the comments below. I will be more than happy to talk about it. But that's all I have for you guys today, and I will see you in the next video. Do not forget that we are dropping a video every day for the month of April, so I will be seeing you guys tomorrow.